Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 82. So in this episode, I will review all 4 episodes from the 3rd week of the Neighbours reboot, as well as all of the behind-the-scenes videos released for that week as well. But without further ado, let's start with my review for the 9th episode of the Neighbours reboot, Episode 8912. The episode starts off with a recap. Mike hides a ring box. Paul and Reese discuss the issues in the Lasters complex. Paul paraphrases Reese. Mackenzie and Sadie discuss Haz's love life. Mackenzie and Sadie search for Trevor. They can't find him. Mackenzie asks Therese if she's seen Trevor. She hasn't. JJ is giving Dex the silent treatment. Mackenzie and Sadie search Ramsey Street for any sightings of Trevor. He apologises to Remy, even, for a hair in Cara's drink. Mackenzie is panicking about Trevor's whereabouts. Haz shows Mackenzie Trevor. Reese lists Paul's previous investors. Mike buys Jane a drink. Jane tells Mike that she needs to have a serious conversation with him once she has collected her thoughts. Mackenzie mentions Holly having to take the fall for a hair in Reese's drink to Haz. Instead, it was actually Trevor, not Holly, that the hair came from. Mackenzie cries when she remembers her life with Hendrix. Haz wants to know about Hendrix. Mike throws an engagement ring meant for Jane into a lake. Reese gets jumpy when Paul brings up her dad. Paul is smug after finding out Reese's weakness. Dex finds JJ's book. Dex questions JJ over the contents of the book. Mike believes Jane is having second thoughts about the relationship. She's not. She does tell Mike, however, that Mike has lost his job due to budget cuts at the school. Mike retrieves the ring from the lake. JJ tells Dex he believes his dad might be Andrew. JJ asks Dex to keep his secret. Mike proposes to Jane. Jane says yes. Mackenzie tells Haz about Hendrix. Haz summarises life. Wendy startles Paul. Paul meets Cara. Cara comments on Paul's height. Mackenzie and Sadie find Haz on a date. And the episode ends off with coming up trailer. My thoughts on this episode is I loved Mike's proposal to Jane. Yes. So yeah, coming up next is my review for the 10th episode of Neighbours reboot, which is episode 8913. So the episode starts off with a recap. Mackenzie vents to Sadie about Haz dating. Sadie delivers a motivational speech to Mackenzie. Reese learns of Holly's and Byron's friendship. Byron takes the mick out of Haz's love life. Byron tells Haz he's missing Reese. Remy and Cara have an argument about Remy getting Cara a job. Remy tells Cara she doesn't want to leave. Remy comments on JJ's love of Ramsey Street. Sadie blames herself for Hendrix's death. Reese rehires Holly. Byron talks to Haz about Reese's recent actions. Sadie tells Haz that his date made Mackenzie upset. Remy and Cara scout Tony's house for purchase. Remy and Cara resolve their issues. Byron meets Reese in her room. Byron and Reese get back together. Mackenzie clarifies that she is fine with Haz dating other people. Mackenzie is not actually okay with this. She does, however, agree to work from home to look after Trevor. Reese stays in Edinburgh, where Wendy is at Mike and Jane's. When the Wagner Murphys return, Wendy leaves. JJ takes Jane's spare key to the Rodwell house. JJ lets himself in. JJ searches for pictures of his potential dad, Andrew. So my favourite bit of the episode, or scene rather, is Reese reinstating Holly to Masters. Yeah, it didn't really make proper sense. But yeah, coming up next is my review for episode 11 of the Neighbours reboot, episode 8914. So the episode starts off with a recap. JJ finds photos of Andrew. Sadie finds JJ in a house. Wendy attends her interview with Reese and Paul for the building manager position. JJ explains to Sadie that he broke in for milk. Obviously that's a lie. Toadie and Hugo are playing cricket. Hugo wins. Paul and Leo discuss Reese's dad. JJ shows Dex a photo of Andrew. JJ calms Dex down. Toadie tells Remy and Cara that an offer has been made for his house and he can give them an hour to decide if they want the house or not. Toadie reminisces about his house and his memories with Sonia. Paul and Leo fill in Byron about their plan to get rid of Reese. Paul's secret weapon is to raise. Toadie visits Sonia's mural. Nell also does. The Rodwells celebrates Wendy's interview. Sadie tells Andrew and Wendy about JJ breaking into the house to get milk. Leo tells Paul about, even as we should say, Elle's findings on Reese. Hugo beats Toadie in a video game. Nell finds Melanie's letter in Toadie's bag. Remy and Cara tell JJ and Dex they have bought Toadie's house. JJ runs out. The Rodwells accuse JJ of stealing Wendy's watch. The Varga Murphys tell the Rodwells that they are their new neighbours. Now talks to Hugo about Melanie's letter. Now empties Toadie's bag. So Therese finds Melanie's letter, and the episode ends with a coming-up trailer. My favourite scene from this episode is it's the first new rivalry, because it's the first rivalry of the reboot. It's between the Rodwells and the Varga Murphys. And to the last episode of the week. Here is my review for the 12th episode of the Neighbours reboot, episode 8915. The episode starts off with a recap. The Rodwells discuss the Varga Murphys. The Varga Murphys discuss JJ being accused of stealing Wendy's watch. Remy and Cara believe JJ didn't steal the watch. Therese talks to Toadie about finding Melanie's letter. Harold compares Carl to Mrs. Mangle. Susan invites Mackenzie for tea. Toadie explains he couldn't burn Melanie's letter to remember how much pain Melanie has caused him. Now spies on Toadie and Therese. The Varga Murphys resolve their issues. Dex and JJ freak out about staying in Erinsborough as well as living on Ramsey Street. Therese catches Nell out on her actions. Therese tells Nell that Toadie doesn't love Melanie anymore. Carl finds out Harold's results and shows no indication of dementia. Carl and Harold go for a walk. The Cara Murphys try to bury the hatchet with the Rodwells. This backfires on them. Cara tells Wendy that she is the new building manager for Lasters. Toadie burns Melanie's letter. Now watches on. Nell and JJ talk about Toadie and Therese's relationship. Mackenzie tells Haz about how Harold helped her when Hendrix passed away. Remy and Carl may know the cause of Harold's memory loss. Jane's back. Jane tells Cara and Remy about her engagement to Mike, whereas Cara and Remy tell Jane that they are moving into Toadie's house. Carl informs Harold that his memory loss is due to new medication. Carl blames himself. Andrew and Wendy talk about Cara being Master's new building manager. Wendy and Sadie find Wendy's watch. Therese and Susan congratulate Jane on her engagement. Therese tells Jane she is the developer trying to close down the school. The episode ends with a coming up trailer. My favourite scene of this episode is Jane returning. Because it's 3 weeks and obviously. So coming up next will be the behind the scenes videos from the 3rd week of the Neighbours reboot.
Hi, my name is Sarah West and I play Cara Varga Murphy.
And I'm Naomi Rukavina and I play Dr. Remy Varga Murphy.
And these are the Ramsey Street Revelations.
Revelation. I feel like I've settled in really well. Sarah's struggled, but that's okay. She'll learn to make friends soon.
No, I think we've settled in really well.
Yeah.
Everybody's really welcoming. We're a new family, so there's not one of us going through it on our own. We have each other, but we also have the boys.
Working with our sons is awesome. I think we've gotten really lucky with two really great young humans. We have a group chat.
We have a family group chat.
A family group chat.
It's called Sausages.
But you'll see why in one of the episodes really early on.
I think Neighbours does representation really well. It never feels kind of tokenistic or box ticky. Having a rainbow teaser is that whenever JJ's got his ripped jeans on, you know there's about to be trouble.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a hot tip.
That's a good one.
That's a hot tip for you.
Those were our Ramsey Street revelations, and we will see you again
Soon. You're so dramatic.
Well, I was trying to bring the drama.
Just a different vibe, you know.
Get out.
See which one
Get
you come
out.
back.
Hi Neighbours fans, guess what? Shaz is back, at least for a little while. It's going to be so fun and I cannot wait for you to see it. Thank you so much for watching us and thank you so much for saving the show. We'll see you soon. Bye.
G'day there, I'm Stephen Dennis, and I think you know who I play.
My name is Luke Ura and I'm the animal trainer on Neighbours. My job is training Bodhi, alias Trevor, to be a star on Neighbours. Bodhi's actually a very intelligent dog, but he does also tend to lose focus sometimes. I actually first started on the show back in 1986 with another dog that you might remember called Bouncer. Bouncer was an amazing dog. Had a huge heart, a beautiful dog to work with anybody, never had a mean bone in his body. Some of the other animals that I actually looked after on Neighbours was Holly, the golden retriever, there was Casserole, the lamb, there was the galah. I had Bob on there for a short time as well. It was a Maltese Terrier cross. I think one of the things that I really enjoy working with animals is to see some of the magic they create. With the training that I do, I love to create special moments where the dog does something unique that no one could ever imagine a dog could do. That's it from Trevor and me, and we'll see you on set.
Welcome back to my weekly roundup, the Robinson Roundup. Yeah, that new family seemed to be settling in all right.
I'm guessing the old Ramsey Street charm has worked on you too, eh?
Yeah, you could say that.
There's something still a little bit off about them. Haven't quite worked it out yet.
You do know this changes everything for our family.
If I can just find proof.
They don't seem to be getting on with everybody, do they?
Look, I think we should just stay out each other's way, don't you think?
You know, I can't work out yet if anything's going on between Mackenzie and that new fellow, that runs the coffee shop.
The planets are aligning. I can feel it.
We'll see. And you know, I really do hope that Toadie and Therese are enjoying married life. Although, you know, I don't think it's quite as plain sailing as she'd hope.
Is that Melanie's letter?
Meanwhile, Reese is still causing absolute chaos in my life.
We will not be edged out. Whether I'm here on site or if I go back to the States, the party's over. We're watching you.
Who does she think she is, Hollywood Bishop Barton or something? Oh, well, thanks for listening to me waffle on about the week. Hope yours is better than mine.
Yes, so those were all of the behind the scenes videos released for the third week of the Neighbours reboot, and that's actually it for these for this episode and for the collection of the Neighbours reboot weeks. I'm still going to be having these kind of videos, but not 3 at a time. I'll be doing it week by week, like I will do with Doctor Who and everything else. But yeah, so the next episode should hopefully be a feature catch-up, because I think I've got quite a few features that I need to catch up on, which will include the third episode of Time Will Why Me. We've got the weekly recap and weekly quiz to do, fine there. So yeah, there's probably quite a lot to catch up on. But that's actually it for the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 82. Goodbye. Welcome to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 104, and this episode I will be resuming my Neighbours reboot reviews, which will start off with Episode 13 of the Neighbours reboot, which is Episode 8916. So the episode starts off with a previously recap, followed by the title sequence. Jane confronts Therese about Therese turning the school into a retirement experience with Susan present. Trevor has eaten some cushions. Byron finds it funny. Therese tries to justify her retirement experience possibly being built on the site of Erinsborough High School. Paul discusses Reese with Leo and Byron. Haz tries to explain why the cushions have disappeared to Mackenzie. Reese gives Byron a present. Reese asks Byron about Paul's intentions. Jane gives souvenirs from Mike to Harold, Susan and Cole. Therese tells Tony about her proposal of the retirement experience at Erinsborough High. Byron explains his feelings to Haz. Tony tries to cheer up Therese. Therese introduces herself to Reese. Therese picks up a receipt that Reese has dropped. Therese gives Paul this receipt. Jane explains Mike's proposal to Carl, Susan and Harold. Tony and Therese join them. Jane takes Therese's plan for the school very personally. Jane gives Therese and Tony their souvenirs from Mike before leaving. Byron and Reese snog in the Lassiter's lift. Paul is suspicious of Byron and Reese. Paul finds CCTV footage of Byron and Reese snogging. The episode finishes with a coming up trailer. My thoughts on this episode is I really like the developing storyline of Jane versus Therese, Erinsborough High potentially being replaced by Therese's retirement experience. So after this episode, but before the next episode, a behind the scenes video. So what I used to do is, as you know, you can go and watch those videos right now, is I do all the week's reviews and then I do the behind the scenes videos at the end. But similar to what I've done with Doctor Who, with all the trailers and stuff, I thought I'd sprinkle them in between. So here is a behind the scenes video with Xavier, who plays Byron, and Annie, who plays Jane. Here it is.
Hi there, I'm Xavier and I play Byron Stone.
And I'm Annie and I play Jane.
And these are our
Ramsay Street
Revelations.
Revelations.
So yeah, next up is my review of the Neighbours reboot, episode 14, which is episode 8,917 overall. The episode, as always, starts off with a previously recap, followed by the title sequence. Mackenzie insults Haz's dress sense. Byron stops Holly from skiving work. Paul exposes Byron being an escort to Reese. Reese is on the verge of tears. Carl blames himself for Harold's memory loss that turned out to be a side effect of medication Harold was taking. Byron, Mackenzie and Sadie arrive at the beach. Haz and Billy also arrive. Byron is dumped by Reese. Billy compliments Mackenzie's work ethic. Byron leaves the beach to go talk to Reese. Byron finds Reese. Reese pays Byron. Reese slams the door in Byron's face. Byron believes Holly snitched to Reese in doing this. Tells Holly Reese was his mysterious girlfriend. Byron apologises to Holly. Byron asks Holly to return the money to Reese. Haz and Mackenzie talk about the road to outro and separation anxiety. Harold tells Tony and Therese about his big adventure. Holly returns the money to Reese. Jane shows her engagement ring to Byron. Byron explains how Reese dumped him to Jane. Jane motivates Byron to not give up. Harold gives Haz a photo of him and Lou. Haz hangs up this photo in Harold. Sadie and Mackenzie talk about Hendrix. Paul yells at Byron. Yes, Paul promises to make Byron's life a living hell. Mackenzie talks to Trevor. Trevor leaves. Mackenzie asks for Sadie's help in her love life. Byron gets drunk and declares his love for Reese in front of Jane, Tony, Therese and Paul. And the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. My thoughts is I still love Byron and Holly's dynamic. Here is the cliffhanger from this episode, which was released on social media. Next up is my review of the Neighbours reboot episode 15, which is episode 8,918 overall of Neighbours. The episode starts off with a previously recap, a title sequence, and Reese agrees to talk to Byron. Cara and Remy reassure each other about moving to Erinsborough. Therese tries to bond with Nell. This backfires. Reese and Byron talk about Byron's previous employment as an escort. Reese and Byron get back together. JJ and Dex try on their new uniforms. Byron tells Reese he has a law degree. Dex, JJ now walk to school. Reese exposes Paul's actions. Reese stands up to Paul. Paul insults Reese's lifestyle choices. Therese talks to Jane about the school. Jane threatens to chain herself to the school gates to prevent the school closing. Paul and Reese give Cara a tour of Lassiter's. Byron talks to Jane about Reese. Reese snoops into Cara's previous employment. Wendy asks Sadie to do the same. Therese offers a job to Carl. Reese thanks Holly for telling her the truth about Byron's employment history. Holly gives Reese a present from Byron. Therese tells Tony about Carl's job offer. Tony opens a parcel meant for Melanie. Nell is shocked at the pig. Nell snaps the pig and ends up breaking it. Nell wrote a letter to Melanie, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. My thoughts on this episode is Paul's back to being the Paul we all know. So yes, there's two behind the scenes videos that were released between this episode and the next one, and the first one features Andrew, played by Lloyd Will, and Wendy, played by Candice Leask. Here is that behind the scenes video.
Hi, I'm Lloyd Will and I play Andrew Rodwell.
Hi, I am Candice Leask and I play Wendy Rodwell.
And these are our Ramsay Street Revelations.
Coming back, it was like surreal.
My character and Candice's character sort of were peppered through a little bit, and then we kind of moved into the street. So our storylines kind of just got started and then the show ended.
I just didn't realise at Neighbours there was a chance it could come back. So that...
Oh, it was such a shock. But to get invited back and to have the opportunity for our stories to kind of be told and see what happens with the Rodwells was super exciting, and we feel super privileged. So this time around it's going to be really interesting.
Varga Murphy, so we've got Sarah, Naomi.
I'll do the family name. Remy,
Have a child. Tom's nodding. They've got a child.
They've got a child.
Susanna.
They've got a child called Susanna.
I think we better do it again.
No, that's gold. That's gold. See, this is what we're really like. We're just fapping.
Basically, we've got no memory at all.
We just make stuff up.
All I can say
hope
is,
for the best.
Susanna, come and visit sometime. We've got plenty of bedroom.
Yes.
Next up is my review of the Neighbours reboot, episode 16, which is episode 8919. The episode, as always, starts off with a previously recap and the title sequence. Nell tells Toadie about her interfering in Toadie and Therese's relationship. Remy gives Dex his inhaler. Therese and Toadie discuss Nell's actions. Therese defends Nell to Toadie. Toadie questions himself on what is the right action. Byron and Reese are at the beach. Nell tells Toadie she got tired of complaining about Therese. Toadie tells Nell that Melanie wrote a letter that she wasn't. Melanie wrote in the letter that she believed she wasn't cut out to be a stepmother to Nell and Hugo. Toadie hugs Nell. Byron tells Reese about Jane's reaction to Byron being an escort. Dex is being bullied until Jane steps in. Reese jokes about the complexity of her family tree. Paul gets under the skin of Byron and Reese. Jane tells Remy and Cara about Dex being bullied. Toadie tells Hugo about Melanie. Paul gives Therese the office in the complex. The Varga Murphys talk about Dex's bullying. Hugo and Nell apologise to Therese for their meddling in her and Toadie's relationship. Therese hugs Nell. Toadie and Therese promise not to keep secrets anymore. Therese tells Toadie about Paul's offer of the office at Blaster's complex. Jane tells Curtis about an email she's just received, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. My thoughts on this episode is I love that Nell's issues with Therese have been rectified. So there are like with the previous episode, there are 2 behind the scenes videos that I need to show you, or want to show you. I don't need to. And the first one is slightly different. It's called Neighbours, so it's basically a minute, well, it's less than a minute, clip that could exist in a Neighbours episode, and might in the future. Here it is, which features Paul, played by Stephen Dennis, and Therese, played by Rebecca Amaloglu.
So we're here, about to do a scene that could exist in the Neighbours universe. We're calling it Neighbours. Stay tuned. Oh, I didn't know you had a motorcycle.
A lot of things you don't know about me since we split up, Therese.
Oh, right.
So what are you doing?
I'm just grabbing some milk for the kids. They're baking cakes.
Oh, jump on, I'll take you.
Oh, no, fine, thank you.
Do you want a hand or not?
Sure.
Do you trust me?
Sure.
And the next behind the scenes video is Paul Robinson's Ramsey Roundup. Here it is.
I finally seem to be cracking that Ice Queen Reese. Yes, I'll show her how it's done.
I do not have to answer to you. And I never ever will.
Poor old Mackenzie hasn't been looking too happy of late. She got a right face on that one. And Jane didn't seem to be too happy with Therese either.
Oh, come on, Jane. I don't want to battle with you.
And yet, you are the one who declared war.
Although I did notice that Therese seemed to be a bit happier this week, so that's one good thing. Bless her. You know, I'm not sure that the Varga Murphys are enjoying life around here in Ramsey Street.
Oh my God. Did you see the look she gave me?
Have we done the right thing? Starting a new school. We've moved in 2 doors down from people that can't stand us.
No. You're the one who convinced me this move was for the best. You don't get to doubt it.
Move out. What I say? Pack your bags and go. Oh, well, that's about it for my roundup for the week. I'm back down to the bar.
Yes, so those were my reviews, as well as the behind the scenes videos that were released for the 4th week of the Neighbours reboot. This is going to get very long. Let's say a year down the road, and we're in whatever week that is, 50th, I don't know. Anyway, not going to think about that now. But let me know what your thoughts on the 4th week of the Neighbours reboot is. So yeah, that's it for the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 104. Goodbye. Welcome to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 107. And in this episode, we're going to do the Week 5 reviews of the Neighbours reboot, which includes Episodes 17, 18, 19 and 20, as well as I'll show you the behind-the-scenes videos that were also released following those episodes. So, the first review I'm going to do is Neighbours Reboot Episode 17, which is Episode 8920. The episode starts off with a previously recap, followed by the title sequence. Mackenzie is jealous of Haz's date with Billy. Mackenzie tells Haz and Billy about her upcoming date. Jane suggests to Wendy that she should sort out her issues with Cara as soon as possible. Carl tells Susan about Teresa's job offer. Mackenzie tells Holly about her date. The Varga Murphys talk to Jane about the backlash the school is facing. Sadie and Wendy talk about their snooping. Carl and Susan talk about Teresa's retirement experience versus Owensboro High. Wendy tells Andrew that JJ didn't steal her watch, and about Sadie's snooping. Mackenzie collides with Eden, who is Holly's ex-boyfriend. Wendy and Andrew talk to the Varga Murphys about the watch situation. JJ apologises to the Rodwells. The Rodwells apologise to JJ. Cara yells at Wendy for her actions. Carl and Susan talk about Harold. Jane talks to Carl and Susan about Teresa's motives. And Andrew tries to reassure Wendy. Haz tells Billy about how he met Trevor. Haz messages Mackenzie about her date. JJ goes to the Rodwells to apologise for his and Carl's behaviour. Mackenzie faints into Eden's arms. Eden helps Mackenzie get sober again, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. Next up will be the first behind the scenes video that was released for this selection of Neighbours episodes.
It's a very exciting day. Do you know why? Because it's opening titles day. We've got a pool party. We've got it all going on. Follow me.
What's up?
Super excited. Woo! Cheers to my first ever Neighbours opening titles.
Paul and Jane sitting by the pool enjoying the party.
My opening title look. Here we go. Am I fired?
I'm arriving at the pool party, sweetie. I'm arriving.
I also have to be a dog wrangler as well.
So that was a wrap for my first ever opening title. Get out of here.
Next up is my review of the Neighbours Reboot Episode 18, which is Episode 8921. The episode, as usual, starts off with a previously recap and the title sequence. Eden and Mackenzie talk about their love lives. Eden is looking for a job. Eden gives Mackenzie his number. Byron asks Jane to join him and Reese for brunch. Byron reassures Jane he isn't leaving anytime soon. Mike writes a love letter to Jane and Jane reads it. Reese insults Jane's long-standing friendship with Paul to Paul's face. Mackenzie talks to Haz, Billy and Holly about meeting Eden. Holly comments on Billy being too nice. Holly tells Mackenzie she has deleted nearly every photo of her ex. Therese and Toadie talk about retirement experience and the school most likely closing down. Toadie goes to work. Paul introduces Therese to Hilary. Hilary comments on Paul not visiting her. Paul wishes Therese good luck. Sam and Jane meet Reese. Jane questions Reese on her travel plans. Sadie is excited about hearing about Mackenzie meeting Eden. Sadie convinced Mackenzie to text Eden. Jane meets Hilary. Jane tells Hilary about Therese's true plan for the retirement experience. Hilary wants to go home. Jane tells Sam, Reese and Byron about meeting Hilary. Reese helps Jane to hopefully stop Erinsborough closing. Erinsborough High closing even. Mackenzie and Eden meet again. Mackenzie gives Eden a lift to the vineyard. Byron and Reese talk about Jane. Byron gives Reese a tour of Ramsey Street. Byron introduces Trevor to Reese. Leo hires Eden. Mackenzie tells Eden she is trans. Mackenzie and Eden organise a date. Holly and Sadie question Haz about Eden. Tony talks to Byron and Reese about Therese using the office in the complex. Tony talks to Carl about Paul's questionable motives, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. So my thoughts on this episode is I love the return of Hilary and her opposition towards Therese's retirement experience, and I like that Jane likes Reese. But yes, coming up next will be a few clips that have been released on social media from episode 18 or episode 8921 overall. Next up is my review of the Neighbours reboot episode 19, which is episode 8922. The episode starts off with a previously recap and the title sequence. Susan and Therese talk about Harold's adventures and Therese's job offer to Carl. Tony tells Therese about his questions over Paul's motives. Reese tells Byron she enjoyed his tour. Reese recounts her childhood to Byron. Byron tells Reese he loves her and then abruptly leaves. Therese doesn't believe Toadie's theory. Therese and Toadie question Paul over his true intentions. Mackenzie works out Sadie and Holly's plan. Holly texts Eden on Mackenzie's behalf. Mackenzie overthinks Eden's response. Holly and Sadie instruct Mackenzie to get changed. Byron tells Haz he told Reese he loves her. Haz gives Byron some advice. Eden meets Sadie and Haz. Paul tells Carl he feels guilty for his behaviour towards Therese. Therese hatches a plan to work out Paul's intentions, and Sadie questions Eden about his life choices. Eden talks to Haz about Harold. Byron and Reese discuss. No, that's not right. Yeah, it is. Byron and Reese discuss Byron telling Reese he loves her. Reese tells Byron she's in love with him too. Therese plays Paul rent money. Paul explains his intentions to Therese. Susan gives Carl a present. Eden tells Mackenzie he can't join her, Haz, Sadie and Holly. Susan tells Harold Carl is joining him on his train adventure. Carl shows Susan the blue box, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. My thoughts on this episode is that I like that Paul is turning slightly, just a smidge, good. Next up will be my review for episode 20, which will be episode 8923. So this episode starts off with a previously recap as well as the title sequence. Reese asks Paul about recycling a lost property. Reese answers a call from her dad. Remy's car has been smashed by a brick being thrown through a car window. Tony tries to distract Therese with tracksuit bottoms. Therese initially objects. JJ and Dex tell Carl and Remy about being bullied at school. Leo is volunteering at the foundation. Reese finds the lost property boxes at the foundation. Andrew talks to Carl and Remy about the smashed window. JJ and Dex listen in. Dex offers to help with Andrew's investigation. Therese is now wearing the tracksuit bottoms. Therese and Tony watch a movie. Tony is crying. Andrew leaves the Mark and Murphys. Wendy brings a box of stuff to the foundation. Leo laughs at seeing Therese in tracksuit bottoms. Wendy suggests that Andrew should give JJ a driving lesson. Reese is searching for a jewellery piece in the shape of a sun. Reese finds it. Andrew gives JJ a driving lesson focusing on parallel parking. Remy encourages Cara to check in with Dex. Andrew tells JJ about his parents. Andrew asks JJ if he and Dex have been bullied before. Andrew offers to buy JJ an ice cream. Andrew goes to get the ice creams. JJ starts to cry. Therese and Tony resume the movie. Once Andrew returns, JJ has disappeared, and the episode finishes with a coming up trailer. My thoughts on this episode is I like that male emotional vulnerability is being explored and normalised. Next up will be the remainder of the social media videos, clips and behind the scenes stuff that were released for the 5th week of the Neighbours reboot.
Hey everyone, I have seen your thoughts on Nell, and some of you are really loving shifty, naughty Nell, and some aren't too fond of it either. I'm really loving all your lovely comments. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm absolutely loving playing Nell. It's been amazing. So keep watching because there's a lot more great stuff to come.
Because the thing about it, the reason I had the beard and the long hair is because I'd finished the show. I was moving on, and I'll be absolutely 100% honest with you, it was born out of laziness. Stefan, the actor, was never allowed to have Paul with a beard because at the time I asked if I could have a beard. I think every other guy in the show had a beard, and Jason, our EP, went, nah, I don't think so. Well, they were my Ramsay Street revelations. Guess I'll see you around.
Welcome back to Robinson's Roundup of the Week. It's me again. Winnie Rodwell has been looking a bit worried this week. What's that all about?
I wanted a career. I wanted to know the feeling of walking out the door and having people respect me. But that's just passed me by.
Meanwhile, Reese is still in Erinsborough. How do I get rid of her? Any ideas? Please? Teresa's still trying to keep me at arm's length. I mean, what's that all about, eh? Honestly. Teresa, come on, wake up. It's me. Oh, God, Teresa and Toadie seem to be blissfully happy. Get me a bath bucket, will you? Oh, that's it for my roundup of little gems for the week. Catch you next time.
Yes, so those were the remainder of the behind the scenes videos that were released for the 5th week of the Neighbours reboot. So yes, that's actually it for this episode. But before I go, remember to like, comment and subscribe. And in the comments below, the question I'm asking in this episode is, if you watched these episodes of Neighbours, what did you think? What was your favourite? If you didn't, how do you like the behind the scenes stuff, and do you like my reviews of it? Let me know in the comments below. But that's it for the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 107. Goodbye. Welcome to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 108, and I'm going to be continuing there's going to be some more Neighbours reboot reviews in this episode, because I've fallen a little bit behind. So yes, I'll be covering 3 episodes in this episode, which will be episode 21, 22 and 23, because I haven't got round to reviewing 24 yet. So in the next episode, I'll be doing 24 to 28. So yeah, it'll balance itself out. But yes, so without further ado, let's get to my review of the Neighbours reboot, episode 21, which is episode 8924. The episode starts off with a previously recap. That is followed by a title sequence. Byron is unloading a car for a guest. Reese is looking at her surroundings and her first day in Erinsborough. Reese apologises to Byron for her not answering his call. Reese gives one of the staff members a secret mission. Dex is still waiting for JJ. Andrew calls poor Remy, telling her that JJ has disappeared. JJ returns home. Tony offers to give Therese a tour of Owensboro High. JJ tells the Wagner Murphys that he returned home early because of the Lindwell brothers. Remy reinforces to JJ that parents look after kids and kids don't look after parents. Wendy suggests fundraising ideas to Jane. Jane tries to remain positive. Wendy offers to help save the school if at all possible. JJ tells the truth to Dex about his driving lesson with Andrew. JJ continues to not tell Andrew that he might be JJ's father. The staff member completes Reese's secret mission. Andrew and Wendy talk about Owensboro High and the Malcolm Murphys. Byron catches up with Reese. Haz tries to cheer up Byron. Wendy has helped Jane. Wendy comments on Jane's appearance. Andrew talks to Cara about JJ and Dex. Cara misunderstands what Andrew is saying. Jane gives a tour of the school to several parents. Remy tries to reassure Cara about Andrew's comments. Reese asks Cara about the CCTV footage. Reese compliments Cara's work. Toadie gives a tour to Therese and the architect. Cara gets a phone call and tells Remy that she has been asked to testify to trial. Reese gets a knock on her door from a character called Tess. Jane finds out about Therese investigating the school. Visiting the school even, for her potential retirement experience, and Jane blows up at Therese and Tony with Wendy and the parents looking on, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. My thoughts on this episode is I love the long-term storyline of the potential closure of Owensboro High. Next up is my review of the Neighbours reboot episode 22, which is episode 8925. The episode starts off with a privacy recap, followed by the title sequence. Reese talks to Tess about her progress in Owensboro. Tess is a relative of Reese's. Well, that's what I thought when I wrote this review, but a few episodes later it becomes clear that she works kind of for Reese's father, basically. Jane tells Susan about her outburst at school. Susan stays with Jane. Billy and Haz talk about Eden and Mackenzie's date. Haz crashes Billy's question. No, I can't read my own handwriting again. Haz answers Billy's question. Eden gets uncomfortable when Mackenzie mentions Holly. Therese and Tony try to reassure Nell about family therapy. And Therese, Toadie and Nell are at family therapy. Tess and Reese meet again, this time at the tram. The counsellor tries to calm down Nell. Nell tells her that she had therapy before when her mum, Sonia, died. Nell describes Sonia to the counsellor and remembers the day she died. Tess tells Reese that she will be back soon to check in on her progress. Holly introduces Reese to Susan. Holly checks in with Reese. Therese talks to the counsellor. Jane and Wendy attend the whiskey launch, as do Susan, Sadie and Holly, with Mackenzie, Haz and Billy. Tony speaks to the counsellor. The counsellor tells Tony about Nell's feelings about Sonia's last day. Tony blames himself. Paul congratulates Leo on the success of the whiskey launch. Leo thanks Paul and his investors. Leo remembers Brittany, who is the mother of Abigail. Tony and Therese discuss the counselling session. Jane gets drunk and Jane knocks her drink onto Holly. Jane apologises to Leo. Leo and Wendy take Jane to a car to go home. Holly meets Eden at a distance. Eden is Holly's ex. Holly chases Eden. Haz tells Billy about Trevor eating her jumper. Holly shows a picture of her ex Eden to Mackenzie, who confirms it's Ed, and the episode finishes with a coming up trailer. My thoughts on this episode is I love how big a part family therapy was in this episode. So coming up next will be a trio of behind the scenes videos.
Alrighty, so I just arrived here at the Neighbours Fremantle Studios and getting ready for my day at work. Here are the studios where we film
my name is Georgie Stone and I play Mackenzie Hargraves.
And I'm Rebecca Robertson and I play Rhonda Del Rubio.
And these are our
Ramsay Street Revelations.
Our Ramsay Street Revelations.
We're having a lovely day at the winery and it is so beautiful.
Wendy is helping her new good friend Jane, who's had a few to drink, but she's going to get home safely. So I'm the designated driver.
Drunk again.
Okay, let's go.
Hey guys, we're just here at the vineyard shooting some drunk Jane scenes, so Wendy and I are helping her get in the car. I'm gonna run it.
Last time Jane was drunk was when she went to the gay bar with Nicolette, and people seem to really like that. So hopefully you like drunk Jane again.
Next up is my review, and will be the last review of this episode of Neighbours Reboot, episode 23, which is episode 8926. The episode starts off as usual with a previously recap and a title sequence. Reese talks to her dad via phone call. Reese gets some more insider knowledge from a staff member. Holly and Mackenzie talk about Eden with Sadie, Haz and Billy. Reese bails on her date with Byron. Paul comments on Byron and Reese's relationship. Haz, Sadie, Mackenzie, Holly and Billy search for Eden. Tony attempts to distract Therese. Therese and Tony talk about Nell. Jane, now sober, talks to Susan about her behaviour at the whiskey launch. Mackenzie is angry for trusting Eden. Eden has seemingly stolen all of Mackenzie, Holly, Haz, Sadie and Billy's bags, which Mackenzie includes her wedding ring. Reese questions a staff member. Mackenzie blames herself for taking off her wedding ring. Haz tells Leo about Eden's actions. Jane finds out that Carl has been offered a job at Therese's retirement experience. Susan tells Therese and Tony about Jane's behaviour. Therese tells Susan that she has issues an offer to the Department of Education. Susan informs Tony and Therese on how Carl and Harold are getting on. Reese tells Paul about her market research project. Byron finds out that Reese lied to him. Haz and Mackenzie return home. Haz enlists Trevor to cheer Mackenzie up. It seems to work. Byron talks to Leo about Reese. Mackenzie talks to Haz about losing her wedding ring. Haz reassures Mackenzie. Tony talks to Jane about Susan. Holly checks in with Byron. Byron talks to Reese about how her recent actions have made him feel, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. My thoughts on this episode is the love that Tony is trying to salvage Susan and Jane's relationship. Coming up will be a clip from this episode as well as a behind the scenes video.
Hi guys, I'm Lucinda Armstrong-Hall and I'm playing Holly.
I'm Costa D'Angelo and I play Eden.
And these are our Ramsay Street Revelations.
Revelations.
Yes, so as I said before my review of episode 23, that's it for these reviews of this episode, but in the next episode there'll be 5 instead of the normal 4, so I catch up. But yes, so let me know what you thought of the episodes if you watched them, or my reviews and the videos if you didn't. But that's it for the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 108. Goodbye. Welcome to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 109. In this episode, I'm going to cover 5 reviews for the Neighbours reboot, going from Episode 24 to Episode 28. And we're going to start off with Episode 24. So here's my review for Neighbours reboot, Episode 24. The episode starts off, as always, with a previously recap and a title sequence. Reese shows Byron a picture of her missing half-sister. Therese signs the lease for the office and gives the paperwork to Paul. Therese and Paul talk about Reese. Jane and Susan talk and reconcile. Jane learns that Erinsborough High will close. Reese fills Byron in about her missing half-sister. Byron comforts Reese. Dex suggests to JJ that they should ignore the Rodwells. Instead, JJ apologises to Andrew for leaving their driving lesson. Andrew offers another driving lesson to JJ. Remy and Cara discuss the Linwell brothers. JJ and Cara disagree about Andrew's intentions. Tony and Therese celebrate Therese's retirement experience offer. The offer being accepted. Jane and Susan confront Therese about her retirement experience replacing the school. Andrew fills in Cara on the Linwell brothers and finds the culprit of the smashed window. Even. Byron helps Reese find out Reese's missing sister has a car. Byron and Reese hatch a plan to find the registration of the car. Andrew tells Wendy about the Varga Murphys being targeted by the Linwell brothers. Cara tells JJ it is okay for Andrew to continue giving him driving lessons. Remy and Cara discuss the Rodwells. JJ tries to reassure Dex. Jane, Sam and Susan discuss the closure of Erinsborough High. Jane and Sam get a call from Mike. Mike tells Jane and Sam he has been offered a job. Mike declines the job. Jane tells Mike the school is closing. Jane encourages Mike to accept the job. Reese stayed over at Byron's. Reese tells Byron about the community plan for Ramsey Street. Remy opens a letter, then instructs Cara to take JJ and Dex outside, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. Next up will be the the videos after episode 24 and before episode 25, which includes 2 clips from this episode and the Robin.
Ah, you came back for more, I see. Well, I'm going to tell you, the Varga Murphys and the Rodwells are still at war, I see. You know, it never used to happen like that in my day. Well, apart from the Robinsons and the Ramseys. And Mrs. Mangle and Madge, and Izzy and Susan. Right, go the Rodwells, I say. Leo tells me that my old mate Jane had a little bit too much to drink at the vineyard the other day. Hope she didn't embarrass herself.
That's not my drink. Oh, there it is. Oops.
Oh, and there's also been some drama with that young fella Eden. He's a nasty piece of work, that one. Trying to give me a run for my money.
Hey, what's happened?
Our stuff's been stolen. Some wallets and Mackenzie's handbag. Some really valuable stuff.
Till's empty as well.
We think one of your staff did it? Ed?
Oh, and Reese has finally been caught out too.
Why are you lying to me?
There is a reason. I haven't wanted to tell you because I haven't wanted to think about it myself. I'm trying to find my sister.
Shame you behave in telling lies like that. Gosh, you'd never find me doing that, would you? Maybe she might head back to the OC now. Which reminds me, I know someone on it for this week. Why are you still here? Haven't you got better things to do?
Next up is my review of episode 25 of the Neighbours reboot, which starts as always with a previously recap and a title sequence. Remy tells Cara to take JJ and Dex outside and to call 000, which is Australia's emergency services number. Like in the UK it's 999, in the US it's 911, that kind of thing. And to tell them it's a potential anthrax threat. Cara tells JJ and Dex to wash their hands and face. JJ gets Andrew. JJ catches Andrew up. Andrew calms down JJ. Andrew gets help. Sadie tries to reassure Mackenzie. Andrew catches up with Cara, JJ and Dex. JJ hugs Dex. Sadie tracks the bags Eden stole in a previous episode. Haz and Holly go to track down Eden. Andrew talks to Remy through the door. Remy gets Andrew to promise to stop Cara coming in. Remy tells Andrew that whatever this mystery substance is, it is in her body. Andrew tells Wendy about Remy's current predicament. Wendy tells Andrew and Cara about her involvement in the Linwell brothers' actions. Wendy apologises to Cara. Holly goes looking for Eden and finds him. Holly stands up to Eden. Eden tries to intimidate Holly. Eden locks Holly in a shed. Haz tackles Eden to the floor. Haz punches Eden several times. Eden steals the car and drives off. Haz sets Holly free. Andrew tells Cara about his promise to Remy. JJ hugs Cara. Wendy joins Remy inside the house. Remy persists that Wendy should leave. Wendy ignores Remy. Mackenzie finds her wedding ring. Remy tells Wendy to sit still. JJ, Dex and Cara continue to hug, waiting for the hazardous substances squad to arrive. Remy explains to Wendy that exposure to anthrax can cause organ failure. Wendy doesn't regret joining Remy. Remy and Wendy talk about feeling invincible at times. Remy bursts into tears. The hazardous substances squad have arrived. The mysterious substance is revealed to be baking soda or baking powder. Cara insults Andrew and Wendy. JJ tells Andrew in front of Wendy, Dex, Remy and Cara. Andrew might be his dad. The episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. My thoughts on this episode. I was meant to do it for the last episode as well, but I didn't. Since that, I love the brief return of Mike in the last episode. In this episode, I love the difference between the life-threatening drama involving the Rodwells and the Marco Murphys and the wedding ring fiasco involving Mackenzie, Holly, Heidi and Sadie. Next up will be a behind-the-scenes look at the events of this episode with Remy stuck inside the house.
I'm on Ramsey Street at the moment. We've got the police car behind me. We've got a massive scare over at the Varga Murphys. Apparently there's some anthrax that has been delivered. Remy's in some serious trouble, so the Rodwells have come to help and also cause a few problems.
In between my scenes, I like to drink a little bit of what you Brits call a cup of tea. A cup of tea. It's empty. There's nothing. I finished it.
It kind of reminds me of my nan. Shout out,
Feeling
nan.
very posh right now.
Hi.
Yeah.
You're on the Neighbours social media there.
Wendy's gone and done it again. But super excited for you to see this.
Next up is my review of episode 26 of the Neighbours reboot. The episode starts off with a previously recap and the title sequence. JJ tells Andrew, Wendy, Cara and Remy about his reasons he believes Andrew might be his father. Has apologised to Billy for not keeping her in the loop. Andrew fills Wendy in on his involvement within the situation. Remy gets angry at Cara, rightfully so. Wendy storms out and Andrew follows Wendy. Wendy gets angry at Andrew, also rightfully so. Andrew tries to justify his actions. Andrew and Wendy feel Sadian. JJ further explains his plan. JJ blames himself for the wedge between Remy and Cara. Remy tells Cara she is beyond angry. JJ storms out. Cara finds JJ in Harold's. JJ apologises to Cara. Cara tells JJ is nothing to apologise for. JJ shows Cara a photo of Andrew. Cara reassures JJ that it's okay if JJ wants his father in his life. Billy locks Trevor outside overnight. Holly wakes Mackenzie up. Haz finds Trevor. Billy tells Haz she left Trevor outside. Billy and Haz have an argument about Trevor, with Mackenzie and Holly looking on. Remy talks to Susan. Cara talks to Therese. Andrew talks to Toadie, and Wendy talks to Jane about Andrew potentially being JJ's father. Andrew goes to talk to Cara, but thinks better of doing so when Remy returns home. Sadie suggests to Andrew to give Wendy some space. Billy and Haz have another argument. Billy dumps Haz. Haz takes Trevor to the beach. Dex ignores Cara and goes straight to his room. Remy and Wendy discuss the JJ and Andrew situation. Remy has brought some DNA tests to know one way or another. Both JJ and Andrew complete the DNA tests. Cara and Remy reassure Dex and JJ. Susan updates Holly on Carl and Harold's adventures. Holly tells Susan about her feelings towards Haz, as does Mackenzie to Sadie. Mackenzie tries to change the subject, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. My thoughts is I liked the scenes between Susan, Therese, Toadie and Jane giving advice to Remy, Cara, Andrew and Wendy. Coming up will be a video, because this episode was broadcast on the 31st of October, which is Halloween, as well as a clip from the episode featuring Cara and Remy. Next up is my review of episode 27 of the Neighbours reboot. The episode starts off with a previously recap and the title sequence. Byron and Reese talk about Paul being suspicious of Reese nearly 24/7. Haz and Trevor return from the beach. Mackenzie checks in with Haz. Haz and Mackenzie say several dog puns. Sadie comments on Reese staying over at Mackenzie, Haz and Byron's. Toadie shows Therese a picture of Amy and baby Kai. Therese discovers that Mel has skived school due to not finishing an assignment. Therese helps Nell with her assignment. Byron hugs Jane. Byron and Reese check in with Jane. Byron and Reese show a picture of Reese's missing half-sister to a mechanic. Jane reunites with Sharon Davis, played by Jess Champ. Sharon tells Jane about Melanie moving house again without telling anyone. Therese calms down now and drops her off at school. Nell overhears Sharon and Jane talking about Melanie. Sadie comments on Holly's new outfit choices. Byron and Reese hunt down the owner of the car Reese's missing half-sister used to own. Nell talks to Jane about Melanie. Holly seems to be flirting with Haz. before being interrupted by Trevor. Reese buys the car. Sadie tells Mackenzie about Holly flirting with Haz. Nell fills Toadie in on Melanie. Toadie checks in with Nell. Holly talks about flirting with Haz to Mackenzie. Mackenzie finds a card she gave to her missing half-sister. Byron gives some advice to Reese. Nell tells Therese and Toadie about her assignment. Toadie tells Jane to not talk about Melanie in front of Nell and to go to him in the future. Nell rings Sharon, getting the number from Jane's phone. Nell gives Jane her phone back, and the episode finishes off. The comic trailer. My thoughts on this episode is I like that Therese and Nell are getting on. I was just checking I did my thoughts for the last episode. There wasn't any videos in between 27 and 28, so I'm going to move straight over into my review of episode 28 of the Neighbours reboot. The episode starts off with a previously recap, followed by a title sequence. Reese rings several rehab facilities trying to find her missing half-sister, but is unsuccessful. Tess has returned and checks in on Reese's progress. Paul finds Reese talking to Tess. Paul ignores Leo. Paul finds out who Tess is. Byron fills Susan in on Jane's insecurities. Byron convinces Jane to join him, Jane, Sam and Susan for dinner. Now convinces Reese even. That doesn't make sense. Now convinces Reese to join him, Jane, Sam and Susan for dinner. Now meets up with Sharon. Now wants to know everything about Melanie from Sharon. Paul introduces himself to Tess. Paul invites Tess to dinner. She accepts. Sharon reassures Nell about Melanie. Jane apologises to Reese for her fears of Reese taking Byron away from her. Paul tells the truth of Reese's exploits to Tess. Reese is jealous of Byron's family life. Tess leaves the penthouse. Sharon checks in with Nell. Jane catches out Nell. Nell asks Jane to not tell Toadie. Jane agrees. Jane gives Nell a lift home. Nell gets a message from Sharon. Tess finds Reese's room and tells her she's returning to the US at her dad's orders, and the episode finishes off with a coming up trailer. My thoughts on this episode is I like that Melanie isn't being forgotten, and that next up will be a few clips that were released between episode 28 and episode 29.
Hi, I'm Jessica Muscamp. I play Sharon Davies, and these are my Ramsay Street revelations.
Okay, Ramsay Street revelations.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Pretty good.
Woo.
I'm Nisha Barton and I'm playing Reese Sinclair, and these are my Ramsey Street revelations. Reese is cool, she's interesting. I mean, she's quite a bossy lady because she's worked very hard her whole life and she comes from a privileged background, and she's been sent here to Australia and she's accidentally fallen in love with this guy. I mean, the storyline is a love story with a very serious subplot of concern for her younger sister. On my first day, I was pretty much thrown into some passionate scenes with Byron's character, Xavier. Yeah, it was quite a lot right off the bat, so that was a little bit funny, but we laugh about it now. Stefan and I joke around a lot. Stefan's pretty funny. Lassiter is a construct, you know? It's supposed to be like the Four Seasons, but it's more like, I don't know. I am going back to New York, obviously, eventually. It's been really fun, and I think, you know, she is a great character, so there's a lot that can go on with her over time. Oh, everybody's been really lovely. I mean, it's actually really heartwarming to see the show get picked back up again. It's been great to come and be a part of this family. That's it for me for now, so I'll see you guys soon.
Ah, g'day again. You know, I've heard that there was a bit of drama on Ramsey Street this week with an anthrax scare. Oh, that's a new one, even for this place. Oh, and have you heard the latest? Yeah, Andrew Rodwell could be young JJ's dad. Woohoo! Well, I've got to tell you, I was quite relieved that I wasn't in the running for that one myself, if you know what I mean. You know, it's very nice to hear that someone else was on Reese's case this week.
You can say your goodbyes in the morning.
What?
Your father agrees. It's time to come home.
I'm not coming home. Who's gonna find Krista?
Someone up to the task. Me.
Now, that's my kind of woman. Go. Oh, and I'll tell you something else. I spotted an old face in town. Yeah, Shaz is back. The cat drags in. Well, I mean, what is it with this place that people just keep bouncing back? Can't get rid of him. Anyway, that's it for this week. Have a good one. Why are you still here?
So yeah, that's it for the Everything Podcast Season 2 episode 109. But before I go, let me know what you thought of these selection of episodes and my reviews if you didn't. I did catch the episodes of, so that's episode 23 to episode 28 of the Neighbours reboot. That is it for the Everything Podcast Season 2 episode 109. Goodbye.